It's time to plan for April in our Altered Book Bullet Junk Journal. I will introduce my new set of freebies as well as other printables created especially for the month of April. Also, again, I will include a quick book review of 3 books I have read since my last video, and I will be adding those to my journal as well. Welcome, this is Barbara from Vienna, Austria. Let me start off by showing you the backgrounds that I have created for this month. As you can see, they are very vintage looking as usual. I'm quite pleased with how these turned out, and I have 10 different backgrounds this time. So let me just show them to you quickly. I still consider myself very much a beginner of digital art, and I'm learning a lot every time I create a new kit. It's a lot of fun. And these last 2 pages, I wanted to keep them very neutral so that they would work with anything, whereas the 8 of these all have some beautiful floral elements in them. So these, of course, don't only work in a planner, they will work for any kind of junk journal as backgrounds. Now let me show you the ephemera pieces I have this month. So I put together some vintage tickets with some collaging on the front. Some are floral, some have these beautiful vintage figures on them. And then we have a whole bunch of fun international stamps. I think those will work very well with the kit to just collage in some areas. Then we have the notes for writing like your to-dos and your gratitude lists if you want to. So they are the same themes as the background, but of course I wanted these to pop out from this kind of like neutral background, so I thought using the same pink as I have in the florals would be very nice in combination. And then of course, as always, I have my little labels here for your gratitude and for your to-do lists, and also for the welcome and summary page for April. And now for the freebies, as always, you have here your habit tracker, which is generic, and you can put in any habit you would like, and then track it throughout the month. So this goes with the theme that I have for April, but it can be used for any month since it's not dated. It has 30 days because April has only 30 days. Then we have our 10K step tracker, which is what I will be using, and the monthly overview for April. So they all have different background themes from my backgrounds. And finally, we have the weeklies. So we have 2 sheets of those. So there's one and there's the other one. So I'm really enjoying this theme a lot at the moment. So let's get started working in our book. So I will start out by showing you all the pages for March. So these we've done together, but what I've done for some of the pages is I added quite a few butterflies, and I added some shimmer with my perfect pearls on the butterflies. So that's kind of a new thing I've been doing. On this one, I had to add some butterflies as well as here because I just thought it was too plain. So that's my 10K step tracker. You don't see very much yet because we are early on in the month still when I'm filming this. I have to film this ahead. This one we've done together. Here I still need to do something. And then here I added some more butterflies. So this one also has shimmer. And I think this one we did together in the last video. I have a playlist of my Altered Book Plan with Me videos linked below in case you want to catch up on any of those. And these here are the pages that you have not seen that I did off camera after the video. So again, here we have some butterflies with shimmer, and I really am enjoying like the spring colors. Then this is the 3rd week of March and the 4th week, and here we also have some moths that have some shimmer, and I think that's actually really fun. And here we have the last week, which already goes into April. So again, this is some collaging with my printables from last month. So here I already put together the March summary, and this is going to be Hello April. And then actually I'm just realizing now I added the background for March. Why did I do that? I don't know. I was not thinking apparently. So I might have to put something over this, even though it's nice. So I'll have to see what I'm actually gonna do. So now I was at a point in my book where I thought, ooh, I need to calculate if actually I have enough pages to put April in there. And so I started marking where I need to tear the pages and how many pages. So throughout this book, I've kind of been trying to figure out the perfect amount of pages to tear, because I think, or what I am experiencing going from one book to the other, depending on how thick your pages are, the number of pages you should tear if you want to keep a relatively flat book vary. So I have learned that having thinner pages, you need to tear out more pages. So I have been tearing out, I think originally 9, if I remember correctly. And then middle of the book, I kind of went to 10 or 12. I actually don't remember. I'd have to look at my other video. And so I just went ahead and tried to see how many pages do I still need to include and how many can I tear out. So I will be tearing out 10 pages, always in between, and then gluing the place where I teared them out, gluing those 2 pages together to hide the tear, as I have done before. And that kind of seems to work out so that I only have a couple of pages left at the end, 3 to be exact, not counting this end page. So that kind of worked out nicely, meaning this book accommodates 4 months, and then I need to now search for a new book starting with May. So I'm going to go ahead and tear out these 10 pages and then glue this and this together. Now I'm just trying to get rid of as much of this bulk here as possible so that the page will turn nicely and not be hindered by all this bulk that I have here because of my torn pages. And as always, I'm just going to take my tacky glue and glue just the edge of my page. Don't want to glue in the middle because that will become stiff, and I don't want my pages to become stiff, and this seems to be working really well. And especially moving towards the later part of the book, you will probably see that they don't match up exactly, but I'm not going to worry about that. That is totally fine. So I will continue tearing out the pages until I have glued all the pages together that I need for the rest of April. Obviously, I totally miscalculated. So I ended up tearing a lot less pages. I think I tore like first 8 and then 6 and then even just 4 at the end. And I think I'm even skipping this one spread where I can just do what I want to do. Where do I have the last one? Here. So this double page I will skip because there's no space. I don't know what I did. I seem to have a very hard time calculating, which is why I was never good at math in school. Okay, but I have everything set up now. My pages are glued together. So this is how it looks now. And so next I need to cover them. So I'm going to use my backgrounds, and as always I'm just going to trim them down a little less than the page so that I still see some of the page border, and then I'll just glue them on again, just putting glue on the edges and not in the middle of the paper. It will make your life a lot easier if you are able to print these background pages borderless, and you don't have to cut the border off of each one. And what I always do is I always cut out the middle part, because this is usually the way I design my pages, the one that has the least bit of decoration. So that way I have, on these 2 pages, I have a whole lot of decoration. On this side, of course, most of it will be covered up by the calendar or whatever other page I put there. But this is always, for me, the one where I have my decoration. So you will see quite a bit of the background. And this strip that I have cut off, and this, of course, as well, are really nice for collaging as well. So definitely going to be using those. And I have decided to cover up this page for the welcome page for April, to be in the April theme, even though this might be kind of a weird combination. But it's okay. I wanted to start with the correct theme. So I'll show you the flip through now of all my covered pages. And I don't know what I did here. And now I'm tearing it. Oh, wow. I'm doing such a good job here. Okay, but this is my book where I'm trying not to stress myself with perfection. So yeah, you see here some wrinkles. I just tore this. This goes all the way to the bottom. So nothing is straight. But that's okay. I'm just going to tell myself that's okay. And I'm realizing that it really is not smart to use papers that are decorated so much, because this will be almost completely covered with my weekly or with my 10K step tracker. So that's a shame, but this is the first month that I've created pages or backgrounds that have so many elements in the background. I think I just got carried away creating them, not thinking about me covering up everything. Anyway, so yeah, so that's one. Then we have this. This will be completely covered up. I feel so bad. And then I realized, well, maybe I should go for I should put in the 2 papers that are more neutral. So I did that here and here. And then I didn't have any more neutral ones. So then I added this one, and that's it. So this will be the April, Hello April intro page. This is going to be my 10K step tracker. So I have already cut everything out. So one is going to be, I think I'll start with my 10K step tracker on this side. And then here I will put my monthly overview. And with these also, I'm only putting the glue on the edges. I love how flexible my pages are using this method. And it saves a lot of glue. If you need a different size for these printouts, just try lowering or increasing the percentage when you print. You don't have to print 100%. You can print them like 80% or 120%, whatever works for the book you are working in. So this will be my first weekly spread. So the first weekly starts with April 5th. Because that is the first Monday of the month. I always like starting my month with the first Monday. And the Sunday, the April 4th, is still part of the April kit. So that starts with Monday, March 29th and goes all the way till Sunday, April 4th. Just in case you're wondering what happened to the first 4 days of the month. And obviously, if you enjoy spending a lot of time decorating your pages and you don't want everything like pre-printed like here, and you enjoy making your own calendar, then please do that. I did that at the beginning with my first altered book, Bullet Junk Journal, last year, but I just found it too time consuming for me. I just wanted this to be quick, yet to have my style in it. So this was a great compromise for me to just design my digitals. Although having said that, I probably spend more time designing the digitals than I did creating the pages in the book. But at least this way you get to have my pages as well. So I'm hoping it's a win for you guys. All right, this is the last one. So this goes up until May 2nd. Obviously, all of my digitals are linked below, the freebies as well as the other ones that you can purchase, like the backgrounds and the notes and stuff. All right, that's that. And these two will be for these. One is for the summary for April. And oh, actually, I was thinking I would need one for the summary of the year, but the year is not over in April. Oh my goodness, I crack myself up sometimes. So this last one then I guess could be like my freebie for the month, where I can do whatever I want. I need to think about what to do here. Yeah, so I didn't think I would have that page. So very cool, I have that one. So I need to do this one, and I'll at least do the first one here for the weekly for my to-dos and gratitudes. Let's first do the welcome page. So I have my Hello April here. And I don't really want to cover her up, but that means I don't have a lot of space here for anything else. Usually I like adding a quote at the beginning of the month, like I did here. I just put a very small one, all things bloom with love. Let me see if I can somehow put a small one here. I'm in the mood for a fun quote, and so I want to look at my crafting quotes, which are meant to be funny. And I think I want something in red to go with this red up here. And I will have to see how I can actually fit that on the page. So looking at my red ones, the options are: I'm addicted to junk journaling. I need a 12 by 12 step program. I like this one a lot. And we have weekend forecast, crafting with a chance of chocolate. That is totally me. Or crafting fills my life and my closets and my drawers and every empty tote bag in my house, or in the house. That works too. Which other red ones do we have? Creative minds are rarely tidy. No. Cooking and cleaning are for people who haven't discovered junk journaling. Yep, I can kind of relate to that as well. So which one's the chocolate one? This one is a bit long, so I think it should be one of these two. I think I'll do this one, the weekend and chocolate. And maybe I can just trim that down a little bit by just, I don't know if this is gonna help. Basically, I'm just trimming down the corners. I don't know how that's gonna help me space-wise. I have the feeling I'm making it smaller, although it probably makes zero difference. Okay. So I think I could just put it here. That would be okay, right? And the Hello April, and I don't know, maybe go here somewhere. It feels like it needs something underneath. I have some dies here that might work underneath. Let's see which one might work. I'm not sure about this. No, this is way too busy. So is this probably, yes, I don't like that. This is kind of too much the same, I think. This one would be very dramatic. What about this one? This one kind of warms up the page a little bit. Definitely not as dramatic. Then I don't like that this one is so big, so maybe I need to actually cut this one down. But I do like this. So I would ink this one up and cut this one down, and then see what else it needs. It's kind of nice that I don't need to add a whole lot of decorations on the page, because I think the page itself is already beautiful. But I do want my quote or sentiment there. Okay, so that's good. I will commit to gluing this one down. And on this one, I think I'm just gonna cut right alongside that inner line. And that should kind of make it look smaller, hopefully. I will link these crafting sentiments for you as well. Okay, is that better? That is better. That is very symmetrical if I do that, right? Let me ink it up first. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Don't wanna overthink things. I just wanna get it done and have something nice. Then moving on to our first weekly spread, which is this one. I want to add my to-do and my gratitude list. I'll use this one as my to-do and this as my gratitude. So for the to-do, I'll use the focus label. And the gratitude has the gratitude. And then I want some other decorative elements. Maybe one of these tickets. I'd like to have some pop of some other color. So maybe blue or blue and yellow, or just yellow. Oh, I do like the yellow. Then maybe something else up there or down here as well. So since we have yellow, maybe we'll add another yellow one down here. And do I have another one? I need 3 yellows. I always need 3. So I guess either of those. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see this one. Not sure about the red. Yep, I like this one better. Yep, that works for me. So I'm going to ink these up and then glue them down. Obviously, if you had real vintage or real postage stamps, if you collect those, then of course this would be really nice to add here as well. But the first full week of April done, and I will continue in the same method for the rest of the 3 weeks. Now let's move to my favorite part, which is the books. So I have this book spread here. If you want to see how I made this, please go back to the first video in this playlist that is linked below to see how I did this. And if you don't have any book stamps, please go check out Maureen's video on how to create this kind of a spread with Canva, which is free. She has a great tutorial on how to do that. So it looks like I have just enough space for the 3 books that I need to add. So this kind of worked out well. So I finished 3 books since my Plan With Me March video, and one was Blood for Blood by Ryan Grodin. This was the sequel to Wolf by Wolf, which I had read last month, which I gave, I think, 4.5 stars. Actually, I could check it. Yeah, 4.5 stars. And it continues the story of Yael and her comrades in the resistance in an alternate history version of post-war Germany. And in their mission to overthrow the Nazis, dark secrets reveal darker truths. And basically, it's about how far will you go for the ones you love. I gave this book also a 4.5 star rating. It was almost as good as the first one, but it was not quite as fast-paced as The Wolf by Wolf. The stakes were very high, and there were, again, unexpected twists, which I really enjoy. And this was kind of a tough read because, of course, the subject is not an easy one, but it was very, very enjoyable. So I would definitely recommend this if you enjoy historical fiction. So I'm just, oh, I need to color it in. So what color? So apparently I'm doing different colors for the months. And what color would we do? How about yellow or blue? What do we do? What do we do? Let's not overthink this. Let's do blue. So for each book I have read, I'm coloring it in. Just because. And as I've mentioned last time, I think it's really nice to reflect on the books that I've read and not just read them and move on to the next. But this way, by reviewing them and by putting them in my journal, I have to actually think about it and I have to rate them. Well, I don't have to, but you know, I enjoy rating them and thinking about why I'm rating them the way I'm rating them. And that just kind of makes me stay with the books a little bit longer and to reflect on them just a little bit. Don't want to get too philosophical, but I do enjoy that aspect of adding them to my journal. Plus, I'm such a scatterbrain, or I should say a fish brain, that I won't remember if I don't put it in my book. There, so that's my 3 books. So I'm just gonna add the title here and the author. And I'm gonna add the stars. I had completely messed this one up. So at least now there's no pressure on doing it nicely because I've already messed it up. So I'm gonna go back to taking the stars that I used here. And I'm thinking about whether I should maybe for the next digital to have some, no, I probably won't make digitals, but I think what I'll do is I will stamp the stars on a separate piece of paper and then glue that strip of paper in here. That way, if I completely mess up the stamping, I don't have to glue it in my book. There's the perfectionist in me again. So I'm sure to take some permanent ink here, otherwise it would probably smear if I would put the marker over it. So this is 4.5 stars. I really enjoy this book page, I must say. Even though it's messy, I just like having my books here, my beloved books. Next, I read The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This was actually a recommendation by my friend Maureen. Thanks again, Maureen, for this wonderful book recommendation. I guess anyone who is into fantasy will know this author, as she seems to be very well known in this genre. So it's about a boy named Fitz, who is a bastard of the crown prince and who in turn was shamed into abdicating because he has fathered a bastard. Fitz is raised in the castle stables and his only real company are the animals who he has a gift to communicate with, which actually is like a forbidden gift. Fitz then is trained to be an assassin and to use the traditional magic of his family, but his tutor tries to kill him because he himself is allied to another political faction. Fitz must survive, for he may be destined to save the kingdom. This book also got a 4.5 star rating from me. It took me about 40 pages to get into it, as it had quite long descriptions, especially at the beginning. And I had just read 2 fast-paced books before, so that kind of made it a bit slow for me subjectively, of course. But then I got hooked and completely immersed in the story and totally invested in Fitz. I loved the subtle magic of the story and could not put the book down, especially the last 100 or so pages. I'm excited to start the second book in this sequel, which is called Royal Assassin and is almost twice as thick as the first one. So, yay! I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to Fitz. So again, I will just put this down. Lastly, I wanted something more contemporary and read Warcross by Mary Lou. When a game called Warcross takes the world by storm, Emeka Chen hacks into the opening game of the Warcross Championships and becomes an overnight sensation. The now famous hacker is whisked off to Tokyo to meet the game's creator, who is a billionaire. He needs a spy in this year's tournament and wants Emeka for the job, but it's not long before she uncovers a sinister plot, one that could shatter the entire Warcross world. I also gave this book a 4.5 star rating. It describes a really interesting world to me, and the technology was absolutely fascinating that was described in here and is a possible future for us, actually. It was very fast-paced, which I really enjoyed. The only reason I'm not giving this 5 stars is because I did not feel as emotionally connected to the main character, Emeka, as I would have liked to be. But I don't know if that was possible in a book which is only this size. I don't know if that's the reason, but still extremely enjoyable read. If you like this sort of contemporary story, you will probably enjoy this one. And I was reading online because I kept, when I was reading this, I kept thinking like this would be such a good movie. And apparently there were plans to make a movie out of this, but so far it has not happened. So I would love to see this as a movie. And I think this one actually also has a sequel. I don't remember what the name now is, but yeah, I looked it up and it does have a sequel. I'm still undecided whether I'm going to read it or not. There's so many books I want to read. It's really difficult. Are you currently reading? Are you reading anything good? Or what is your favorite genre to read? I would say mine is probably historical fiction. And I do like the fantasy. It's been forever since I've ever read fantasy, because usually the worlds are so complex and it takes such a long time to understand the world building and the magic and all of that. It's just kind of too much for me to handle. But this one here by Robin Hobb was, I think Maureen said it was the perfect one to get into the genre. So maybe I'll read more. We'll see. Let's use this last page for a collage right here. And I thought maybe I could use some of these here. These I got sometime last year, and I think they're super cute. I got them locally from a shop called Flying Tiger, which always has so many fun things. And I haven't used them, so I think maybe they would work here. Maybe the bird could be really nice. So from your comments from some of my previous videos, a lot of you still seem to be in full lockdown with no shops opening, or like in the Netherlands, you need appointments, like what you can book an appointments up to 48 hours prior, and then you can get like a 10-minute appointment to be in a shop. That sounds so complicated. And I'm also wondering, how do the shop people, like the people, employees, how do they track that? That is, just seems crazy to me. Here in Austria, shops are open. You can go with your FFP2 mask. I don't know if you have those. Yeah, you probably do. I don't know. You can't go here. You can't go anywhere here with like the regular masks that we used to wear, like just any fabric. You need these FFP2 masks. And it's really hard to cut and talk at the same time. It seems so trivial. And so we can go to any store wearing those masks. So I feel very lucky. We've had this now for, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe even. So I am super happy about that. So let me just see. So he's very cute. Could we add a nest? Maybe we can add a nest. I am not sure. Or the feather. All right, I'm gonna cut out this nest. I'm not sure if I will actually be able to use it. Here, restaurants are still closed, and hotels, of course, as well. And they're thinking of opening restaurants maybe end of March, hopefully. They're testing it in one region in Austria, in the west now, because their numbers are not high. So they're opening a few days from today when I'm making this video. So depending, I think, on how their numbers are going to change, if they go up dramatically, then they might change the plans for the rest of the country as well. So it'll be interesting. They're like our guinea pigs, which I feel is very strange. Okay, what else can we add here? I have here my box of scraps. Maybe I should put this here. Something sewn would be cute. Oh, and we have these. These are from my test stamping from my action haul. I have that video up as well, and I'll link it down below in case you want to see what else I got at, like what craft supplies I got at Action. Oh, this is actually nice. I like it. Oh, that's too much. I want some sewing. So I have these little scraps that I've just sewn a zigzag stitch on, just regular paper scraps, anything I could find, which I really think is fun. Oh, there's a blue one that might work. No, it won't. Some Hebrew, also nice, even though I cannot read it, so I hope it's okay. Liking that. I'm always telling myself, like, I'm putting things in here because these are the ones I want to use up, but I keep adding so many that there's no way I can ever empty this out. Like, that is a complete illusion. But I do find that when I add things in here, I do tend to grab them more than if I would have them in some sort of a ephemera folder like I used to. I like this too. This is coming along quite nicely. What else? I just really want it to look like spring. How about some yellow? Don't want two R's, so I'm gonna tear the R off. That works. Some numbers here. Yep. This, I think, is from the Digital Collage Club, from the grungy numbers and symbols. This is a fun one from when I was painting a journal. Always cool to keep scraps like this. I think I'm gonna glue these down and then see what else I need. Then I found this piece of lace ribbon, which is self-adhesive, so I want to add this as well, even though I don't want to bulk up my book, but I'm at the end anyway, it's fine. So I think that's nice there. And then I want to add one of my like generic black quotes. Where can I add it? As always, I think I like the bottom right. I don't know, there's just something that feels so right about this position always. And I think that's a wrap. I am happy with how this collage turned out, and it was super quick and easy to do. Thank you as always for hanging out with me. I hope this gave you some more inspiration. I hope this will motivate you to get your April pages started, or maybe even to start a planner. Maybe the next video is a good one for you to start a planner if you haven't so far, because I will be starting with a new book. So I need to find my book and decorate the cover and figure out how to work in it. So hope to see you back here for that next one in May. Take care, and I love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!